at this moment specifically to address the beach walk on the overnight hours. And what we've been doing is on our shift, when I work, we deploy a few officers specifically to the EF school around that area to address, the littering and the homelessness issue. And obviously, any findings that we have are obviously, temporary. But we're looking for more permanent solutions as well, like you spoke about, as far as signage and things like that, working with the neighborhood resource officers and our homeless resource officers. To give you guys a little bit of insight on the stats in the area as well. I know the motor squad, I could get you the exact numbers, but they've definitely had an uptick in the amount of citations that they've issued within the last 90 days. And there's been an overall reduction in crime, especially as it relates to auto-related crimes, by 15% within the last 30 days as well. And that's a result of an ongoing track initiative that we have, which is basically an undercover detail. And that's been ongoing from the hours of 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. And that's a 7-day detail for about the last 30 days now. And that's assisted us with a 15% reduction in crime.
That's good to know.
I'm also here if you guys have any questions. Obviously, I know the captain is on vacation, but whatever I know, I can answer for you now. And any other questions I don't know, I'll get you the answer and email you back.
Go ahead, Michelle.
I actually witnessed in 10 minutes, maybe I think he was having a break, honestly, because I see many times on 42nd or 43rd Street, police just stop their car on the side, maybe taking a break to see the ocean. And within 10 minutes, they stopped 3 people on motorized vehicles, the motorized bike,
We can't hear you, Michelle. Michelle, we can't hear you.
I don't know why it's not.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's not working. I don't know why my thing's not working. Sorry about that.
We can hear you now.
We can hear you now. Fine.
What I'm saying is that the police presence is important, because I witnessed in 10 minutes, the police actually stopped 3 people. They didn't ticket them, but they pointed, you're not supposed to be here. And all 3 left the beach walk. So I think these police were actually on their breaks. They weren't actually people who were working the beach walk beat. But I think it's important to let all the police staff know that if ever they go to the beach walk for their own personal reasons and they're in their uniforms, they should tell, and they see someone, put the stop sign up, please leave, because a lot of people just don't read the signs and don't even realize they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah. So
that's a great point. That's a great point that you brought up as well. And that is so you guys are our biggest asset. You're definitely you're part of our Miami Beach team, as in assisting us with these issues. So typically what happens is we get a form of a complaint, correct, on some issues you guys may be dealing with, and we set up a plan. And that's exactly what we've done, at least within the last 30 days. I can assure you that same interaction has been going on, because during our overlapping hours, which is when we overlap with the afternoon shift, on the midnight shift, we specifically set up 2 officers, 3 officers, specifically to address the issues on the beach walk. And that comes in a form of concerns brought to us by the community, or things that we identify through crime stats, through statistics on what's going on in specific areas. So the way I look at it is I look at it as a whole, right? So we receive complaints or concerns either from community members or crime statistics, and we create a plan based on that. So that's why I encourage you guys always to ask us questions, especially when you have your area captains on here, because they are the ones that are geared towards specifically addressing your zone. From where I'm at, in my perspective, I oversee the whole city on the midnight shift. So I have to address multiple areas of concern, if that makes any sense. So
have they assigned more officers to patrol the beach walk? And I know they were going to change the times of the surveillance. Is that something that's taking place?
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly the detail that we're talking about. We during our overlapping hours,
which is what time, so that we understand what that means. What are
So
overlapping hours?
the overlapping hours are basically when the afternoon shift and the midnight shift both go in service, and that happens at 9 o'clock at night. And the afternoon shift leaves at 1 in the morning. So during that time frame is when there's officers assigned specifically to address these issues on the beach walk.
I see. Okay, that sounds good, because we need all the help we can get out there. That's a priority for the community and for residents and visitors alike, the safety. There's been a lot of accidents out there, and it hasn't been good. So thank you so much for sharing that. Anybody else? Officer Hazy, anything you'd like to share?
Hi, how are you? So yeah, just to add to what the lieutenant was talking about, for example, one of the latest complaints we received was from the EF, not from the EF school, but a neighbor at the building. I believe it's the Atlantis right next door. So what was going on is that EF students were basically littering on the beach walk. So they were drinking, consuming all types of beverages and leaving a lot of trash behind. So that was brought up. As a matter of fact, I go there every Monday and we talk about basically, what's illegal on Miami Beach, what they should and shouldn't do. I give them a lot of safety tips, and that, includes obviously keeping our city clean, which for whatever reason, this group didn't listen. They've been really good. I've been doing maybe for the last 2 years. Every time they have a new class on Mondays, I go there and I speak to them. And we haven't had issues since, but apparently 2 weeks ago, I don't know what happened. So we had a little incident. I mean, nothing major, but it's been addressed, and we continue doing so. Every Monday that they have an incoming class and they have it year round, I go in and give them a type of orientation. So that's something we've been doing.
That's always helpful. Okay, thank you. The only last thing on as far as beach walk, Deb, so we can move on, is encroachment. So I know that the Caribbean is here, and they did a beautiful job with trimming their landscaping. I give them kudos to, I just walked in and I saw that. So every one of us, it's very important for us to maintain our landscaping, east-facing landscaping, to have our signage. That's the law. You're going to get code compliance department is going to issuing actually citations and warnings to condos and hotels that do not have signage. We have signage very economically for MBNA members. I think it's like $60 or $75 or something like that you can put on facing the beach walk to meet the requirement. It's code compliant signage. Make sure you order it. It's also on the website under the beach walk tab. And also we've been on top of the city because there's areas of the city, including right next to the Faena, that has not been well maintained. And we just gave that information recently to Kevin Polito to follow up with that and make sure that not only we do our part, but that the city does their part to not have encroachment. And what that means is landscaping and shrubs that are overgrown and they're blocking the 18 inches. In the areas that is 15 feet wide, there's two 18-inch concrete sides that people walk on to feel safer, so that you're not in the middle of all the bicycle madness. And when you have shrubs and landscaping encroaching those 18 inches, it makes it narrower and more uncomfortable and unsafer to walk. So we really urge everybody to continue doing a good job maintaining your landscaping on the beach walk. Esteban, you want to add anything
Yes,
to that?
I'm sorry, if I may, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I'm sorry, and if I may add to that. So part of that landscaping maintenance is also important, because that's also a very big crime prevention tool, if you may, because what happens is when you have shrubbery and landscape that's not well kept, it basically means that the property is not being maintained and nobody really cares. So if a property is disheveled, if it looks that it's not being well kept, it's going to attract the homeless to seek shelter there. And what happens is once you have homeless people, making that a hub, then, that becomes a hub for crime. So it's very important that, landscaping and basically maintenance in general of the properties are always, obviously well kept, because that prevents homeless people from, continuing to get these properties and, becoming home. I don't know if you're familiar with the building La Costa, 5333, I believe it is.
Yes, it's gonna be torn down.
Okay, exactly. But they had a humongous community basically living there, which is insane. And what happens is, yeah, the property is not maintained. They start seeing that, and obviously they make it home. So that's what we're trying to avoid. That they see these properties that are not well kept, landscaping that is not taken care of. So they make it home, and then from there, they start committing crime. So that's very important that everybody keeps up their landscape.
Thank you.
Alicia, I just have one more point, which with the city and their landscaping. So I guess because of the MBNA, you're doing a good job. They came and they started taking all the weeds and trimming it back off the beach walk. But then remember, I mentioned and you saw, one day they came, a whole crew with 2 truckloads. They literally cut down several areas of seagrass trees. And like you mentioned, that's not permitted. And so someone should get to the city and say, listen, when you're getting these people who are trimming back whatever needs to be trimmed, do not cut down these seagrass trees. They just chopped them down, and 2 truckloads. And they left areas just naked with no grass, no nothing.
Okay, so that's another topic of conversation that Esteban and the MBNA have been dealing with for a couple of years now. Their environmental department did a whole study, and they decided that trimming the trees is part of a maintenance program, and that it's designed to grow back better. And they argued with us. Esteban took footage. Esteban compared it. We've been, this is your baby, Esteban, and we've been really, really advocating for them not to do it. And we lost that battle with the whole city's department. And we'll continue to try to fight it. Sometimes we win, and sometimes that one, we couldn't win that one. That was a bad one for us. But yes, this has been going on for a couple of years, and it's all documented. It's also on the website, by the way.
So sad.
Sorry, Michelle, but we fought hard. That's why I fought hard.
This is a real disaster. They happen time to time. The landscaping contractor cut everything and destroyed the beauty. We see what happened in the future.
Yeah. Deb, go ahead. Unmute, Deb.
Sorry about that. So now we have new business, and we actually have to go over EV chargers for surface parking lot. I have Esteban Porcelli, our committee member and MBNA representative.
Yes, this is a new business. It's about the electric vehicles. People resident in MidBeach ask, if I buy electric bike, where do I charge the battery? MidBeach is stretched from 24 to 63 streets. And in that section along Collins Avenue, there are no public stations to charge EVs. There are important strategically located public surfaces, parking lot that are perfect to install charging point to EVs, like Collins and 27, Collins 35, Collins and 46, and Collins and 53. This parking lot offers a very attractive advantage for resident and visitor EV drivers. There are restroom, playgrounds, coffees, restaurants, beaches, fitness equipment, and the magnificent beach walk and public transportation. For this reason, at the last meeting at the City Committee of Transportation Facilities, parking, bicycling, and pedestrian facility, I propose to install a public charging point at this place because Miami Beach must be EV's friendly city. The city take the message. I don't know if somebody from the city is online to make a comment. They're gonna start working with FPL. The city of Miami Beach work together with Blink charging company that install in all garage, closed garage, they install already a public EV charging, but no in open space. And we're gonna see soon any resolution from the city. We're gonna push more to install because the people need, because the more and more EV is on the road. It's more or less it's 7% of the car that sell in USA now are electric vehicles. Is somebody from the city? Oh, it's here.
There's Monica Beltran.
Monica, it's Monica, yes.
Yeah.
Monica, all right, Monica, it's your turn.
All right, hi, good evening, everybody, and thank you, Mr. Borcelli. Truly appreciate this opportunity. Everything you said, I agree with. Looking forward to trying to stay ahead of the ball game here, because EV is really the trend of the today, not even the future. And one of the problems that we have, and something that we need to address very quickly in the city, is upgrading the grid, the power grid, so that we can support more charging stations. So one of the things we're doing is, like you mentioned, we have a contract with Blink. We're just going to go out for a new solicitation because this contract expires in February, and we did have other options, but Blink has some solutions that are expensive. So we want to have a long-term contract, if whether it's Blink or somebody else, whomever has the best. Blink has been a very good partner, so that we can establish the network that is needed. And you hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly where I would put them. 27th Street at the lot, at what we call P71 on 46th Street, 53rd Street, along the corridor, so that people can have access to charge their electric vehicles. In particular, in MidBeach, where we have so many condos and apartments, there needs to be. And well aware, we're working on it, be assured, we're trying to expedite, we're working with FPL, there are other people that have come forward, looking at alternatives, latest technology, etc., because this is happening very quickly.
So there's a raised
Thank
hand from Justin Dunn. And
Go ahead,
Yes,
Justin.
Monica, can you just maybe talk a little bit? There's a question in the chat regarding level 2 versus level 3 charging. Can you just maybe address that for the group?
Absolutely. And so we only have level 2 charging right now. And that's because of the power that is required to have level 3, or it's alternating current versus direct, right? And so the DC goes very fast, and you can charge your vehicle much quicker. So we're working, that's one of the situations we're working with FPL. As a matter of fact, we have a meeting next week, because we had a meeting, but we had to cancel it because of Ian. But so that we can upgrade our power grid to be able to sustain this. Like, I'll give you an example. Some of you may know, at the Pennsylvania garage, Tesla installed fast chargers, but only for Tesla. They're not universal, where Blink is, right? But they had to install a transformer, and then they had to do a volt, and it took a while, because you have to have sufficient power to support the direct current. It goes much faster. So we're working on that solution. We don't have it today. We do have level 2s. And, the idea now is, if you stop at Lincoln Road or or to the beach or whatever, that in one of the garages, you could take small charges at, meanwhile, unless you have a full day, like some people go to work and then they leave their car charging, because it takes much longer with a level 2. Unfortunately, today, we don't have the sufficient wattage to support a direct current. Blink does have a solution. Let's work on getting a contract deal with them or whomever else, so that we can work towards level 3, but we are working on it.
But anyway, level 2 in the parking lot that I mentioned, it's going to be okay in the meantime for charging EV until we have DC charges. 11.2 is okay.
I agree, and I'm working with our Director of Property Management and Fleet to get us power at the power and data at the lots so that we can start at least level 2s.
Perfect.
They're saying that it's slow is what we're seeing in the chat.
It is slow.
Yeah.
It is slow. Yeah, it is slow, but the very fast chargers take a lot of power. And
We have to do whatever it takes to have the latest. I mean, we're not going
I
to start
agree.
something and be behind the ball here. You know, we have to be ahead of the game, not behind it. So
yeah,
make sure we keep that in mind. And if we already have experience that they're saying that it's very slow and they're already, we have one of our members trying to upgrade to level 3, then that's something that the city really, regardless of what it takes to do, we've got to.
I totally agree with it,
Yeah.
with you. And that is why we're meeting with FPL on
Okay.
Tuesday.
We appreciate you being here, Monica.
It
Thank
is
you.
my pleasure.
Alicia, can I say something, please?
Yes.
The Tesla station that can take regular cars. They don't just take Tesla because you can get an adapter. And to have a supercharger is very important. I mean, we've been asking for this to come up on the meetings quite a while. So it's on new business today, which I'm quite surprised. So I'd like to go to that meeting on Tuesday.
FPL, it's just a communication with them to find out what kind of services they have so that we can work on a plan for the future. This is just a working meeting with FPL trying to see what they can do for us. And we're also working with our resiliency group with Amy Knowles to see, you know, if we can also pursue some type of grants or anything that can help us expedite the process. This is just the beginning of a working group just to see, you know, where we can go and what we could do. By the way, the city as well is working on electrifying its fleet.
So can't you, how do we request Tesla to put a supercharger on at the 35th Street parking? How do we go about asking the city to do that?
We can reach out to Tesla. It's a very costly proposition. 35th Street. On the surface lot there.
Yes, yes.
We can ask them. I could tell you this, that in order for them to have put it over at by the way, they told us it was only Tesla. This is news to me. So, but for them to install, this is entirely a Tesla project. They needed at least 10 spaces because it is so costly. So they were not interested in doing anything small. And in addition to that, they needed a contract, something that we normally don't do. But because we wanted the chargers, a contract of at least 90 years in which you assure them the use of those spaces. And that's because of how costly it is to install these because of the large drain of electricity. So, I mean, we could talk to them.
Yes,
but
I'd like you to. I've walked at 35th Street and I've walked at several of them. There is an area where there's ample space for the spots that's not actually used as parking. They've got them as, you know, if you go to 35th Street, you'll see it's very convenient and conducive to having a Tesla supercharged station there. So I am very willing and able to come and speak and see how to get that station there.
We're advocating for all the lots, right?
Yeah, we'll be happy to reach out to Tesla. Like I told you,
yeah.
They're not interested in small locations because it's too costly. They weren't, unless they found something new.
Yeah.
And there's another thing that we need to look at, okay? Wherever we put the locations, as identified by Mr. Porcelli or discussed with Mr. Porcelli, are different, but wherever we put them, we need to keep in mind that in general, parking is limited throughout the city. And so when you designate these, you're gonna have to enforce that nobody else can park there. We don't do that in the garage for Tesla because we cannot give free real estate like that. But, you know, we did put them in a location where we thought that they would always be available. So there's a lot of considerations. I'll be more than happy to talk to Tesla to see if they're interested in anywhere else. But first, I really do have to check that they are universal, because I don't know that it was because they were not interested in spending the money and then making it open to everybody else, or what it was. But it's a conversation to have, and I have it in my notes.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate
It's my
it.
pleasure.
Thank you. Monica, please keep us posted on that. And as you know, Esteban is our working group chair. So
Esteban is a member of our transportation committee, of which I
Yes.
am a liaison, so I'm sure he'll go back and forth with information.
Yeah, we are in touch permanently.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
so next, we have our Miami Beach Drive, our MBNA request, our city update and next steps.
I'm going to share the working, the screenshot here real quick. So basically, let's go to, where is it? Miami Beach here, Miami Beach Drive. Oh, here's the signage, by the way, that we were talking about a minute ago. And these are the shrub encroachments and all of that. Wait, let me see, where's Miami Beach Drive? Here it is. Okay. So Miami Beach Drive is a promenade that goes from 24th through 29th Street. And it's just east of Collins Avenue and west parallel to the beach walk. And this is something that Oscar Vasquez can share. So Oscar, you want to take over?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Elisa. Yes, this area that she is showing there on the screen is one that has taken a lot of abuse over the years. Largely during the period of time where the current beach walk was under construction. And as a result, we had a lot of vehicular traffic as well as pedestrian traffic that has really made this area go downhill rather quickly. So we've been having some conversations with the city, and all in all, it appears that what needs to happen here is some kind of project needs to be initiated to redo this entire area. One other area of concern is that where the pavers meet the concrete, the pavers are sinking by either rain or vehicles driving under them, and it's creating a ledge that is resulted in a couple of injuries, lawsuit, and it's really a safety hazard. So we've got a call to action as a group to take this on and see what next steps the city needs to take in order to identify what needs to happen in order to bring this area back to safety and its original beauty. As you can see there, there's a lot of accumulation of water and very little percolation. So it's not representative of what we should have here in Miami Beach. And certainly now with the new entryways, it shows a stark contrast between the Miami Beach Drive Promenade and the entryways. So we're looking to get something going there as a group rather quickly.
So these are a few examples of what we envision for it to one day, maybe, possibly, hopefully look like. And if they need to put the bicycles, then that's an option. If not, just a promenade, which is, we really don't want to encourage bicycles there. We want to make it into a nice, comfortable pedestrian walkway for the residents. So we had a meeting recently on October 7th, and they're starting the process. This is, again, a long process, but at least they're going to start addressing it, and we wanted to share that with all of you. And since we're here, I'm going to just show you the sign that the city is already installing. And this is the go slow, share the path, keep right. And this is what's going to be happening very soon throughout the entire stretch of the beach walk, which is a stay right and stay right. Basically, hopefully that'll help people understand what they do organically, which is to stay right. And that's the proposed signage.
All right, thank you on the update for the Miami Beach Drive. And then Felicia, do you want to tell them that back then it was called a promenade?
It's called the Miami Beach Drive, and then it's promenade. There's a historical on it, which was very interesting because John Collins lived there when he started Miami Beach. And I actually Googled that and put it on the website on the homepage, the history of Miami Beach. And yeah, so we're going to try to see if we can get the name changed to MidBeach Promenade, which makes a lot more sense than Miami Beach Drive. But that's just another fantasy of ours. But hopefully, I mean, Oscar has been on top of this for a couple of years. Actually, he's worked tirelessly because there's lawsuits that have taken place. And the other day the MBNA said, let's tackle this one. This is going to become our project, one of the many projects that we're tackling at the same time. But we've got this. We're going to get on top of it with Oscar leading the way.
All right, and then I think our last item on the agenda is about our arts and culture facilities, about GeoBond. We want to encourage everyone to listen to the recording of the public meeting.
I'm going to share that real quick as well. If you want, I can do that. So this one is under projects of interest. So it's, let me see. No, this one is under calendars and events. I'm sorry, calendars and events. And then here we have the arts and cultural facilities. Okay, Deb, you can talk about that. It's right there on the screen.
Yeah, I think, let's see.
So there's a video that's here. You can click on it. We're not going to play it now, even though we're running early. Deb, you're doing amazing. Look, we're early. But if you click on this video, it's very interesting. All the arts and cultural facilities that are being funded by GeoBond, and we got to be a part of this, all of us, and want to get involved. They're proposing $159 million issuance to improve facilities for arts and cultural institutions throughout the city of Miami Beach. And I don't want to click on this button because it'll start talking right away, but it's very interesting. Just go on the website and take a look at that because that's something on the mayor's major agenda item to pass this and get this moving, whether you agree with it or not, but you should be well informed of all the projects that are happening in the beach. And then here you have all the different working groups, which include, of course, beach and water quality. We've gone through bicycle and pedestrian safety. We're advocating for that. That's a big one. Then the Collins working groups. This one is Justin's, which of course is 25th to 41st. And Justin, you want to say anything about that? You want to talk about anything regarding to do with your working group?
Nothing to update now. The big focus is on Collins Avenue, as that is getting upgraded and putting in bicycle lanes, improving the sidewalks, creating loading zones, and a couple of other important issues for the residents, but all those are in process.
Okay. And this is different types of things that are being done, bike lanes, and all kinds of information is in there for you as well. Current developments. This is just whenever there's something being built, like this is in this particular case, the current development is Mass Capital doing the 5333, which was La Costa that the Officer Hazy was talking about a few minutes ago, and what they're building. So you can see whenever there's a neighbor coming in that's coming close to us and what they're proposing. And of course, we only refer to anything related to MidBeach. So Deauville and things like that are not part of our perimeter, so we don't deal with those. And as far as let me see what else we have here. GeoBond related Indian Creek Drive. That's a big one. That's Esteban. Esteban, you want to update us on Indian Creek? What's going on with Indian Creek? These are all just
actually they are working in the seawall project, and it's an intense labor war it's going to take another 6 months to finish, I believe, and it's moving daily. I think it's going to be ready for March. They are doing a lot of work around the seawall. They moving the old seawall. They moving part of the seawall that was built in 2019 because it was a mistake, and they put in new ones, and it's moving. It's moving. It's a crew working Monday to Friday every single day, and it's a lot of progress already. They start in April.
So for those of you who are interested, go to this in projects of interest under Indian Creek Drive, and you will see something fascinating that Esteban has been documenting since the beginning of the project. And these are historical videos, and you will see from beginning to end the entire project. The street is now open, but you'll see videos, drone videos, slides, pictures of the entire project. Fascinating stuff. The city actually uses it to monitor what's happening because these are drones that they don't do. So if you have some time on your hands, have fun looking at this. A lot of interesting stuff happening there as well.
Hey, Esteban, I have a quick question, and not to put you on the spot, but the area behind the barrier, between the barrier and the wall that they're building, is that eventually going to be landscaped?
Yes, there is a project to put it from 29 south. Is going to be a path for pedestrian, and the rest is going to be a greenway. Complete field, and there is a project in the city already.
Great. So the bicycles will stay on the street side, and the inside will be a pedestrian path.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Part of the project, yeah.
Okay, I think Anna Marie wanted us to play the GeoBond video, but I don't think we need to, even though we do have time. But I know, Deb, you're going to close it up, but before we close up, make sure that you go. Another thing that's really interesting for you on the homepage are all the links to all of the upcoming elections. We have the videos from the candidates forum, and also since Sabrina Cohen couldn't attend, we have her little video clip that she did for us. Everything that you need is here. Upcoming elections, election dates, early voting for special elections, Monday, October 24th, that starts. So please make sure that you vote. Your vote is your voice, and we really need to hear from you, and the city needs to hear from you. So voting is very important. We encourage you to do so, and it's all there, one-stop shop on the homepage of our website as well. Deb.
And I'm so glad that we have some time. Any questions before we go ahead and adjourn, or does anybody else want to say anything?
We miss you, Anna Marie. But Deb, you did great.
I always miss Annie.
You did a great job, Alicia.
No, Deb did.
Sabrina, did you want to say anything? Because I know we didn't get to have you on the candidates forum, and I think Laura's going to be jumping in. Maybe Alicia, you'll tell us if Laura's, but Sabrina, do you want to say anything? Because we didn't get to see you during our candidates forum.
That's right.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for having me here tonight. I've been a resident in Miami Beach my entire life for 44 years. I grew up right off of 41st Street on Royal Palm Avenue, and I've lived in Sunset Harbor for 20 years. I love our city. I believe in our future, and I'm really here to be an authentic voice for you, our residents. And I'm really impressed with how much work your association has committed to making sure your streets and your areas are well taken care of. And as your next commissioner, I'll continue to be that voice for all of you. I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you, Deb.
Sabrina.
Good to see you, Michelle.
Nice
It's been
to
a long
see
time.
you.
All right, if there's no more questions, there's nothing else in the chat box, I am going to adjourn this meeting at 7:15. Is that meeting is adjourned?
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you. We'll see you
Thank
soon
you.
next month. Make sure you follow our website.
Sandra, thank you, Alicia.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Deb. Thanks, Alicia.
Bye. Thank you.